Welcome back to the Inspiring Gateway. I'm Asia, and we're going to dive deeper into the realm of spirit. We're going to talk about a few things, but first, I want to talk about perspective, and that's something that all of us beings, spirits, whatever you want to call us, we all have our own internal eye, our own perspective. We have our own way of seeing things, seeing the world outside of us based off of our own perspective, our own internal eye, our own light, our own information that we have gathered through our experiences. And I just want to read perspective because it's important to have a physical evidence through knowledge and learning of what these things are, because a lot of us we use that word perspective, but we don't have a really understanding of what that is. And that's why images like this help us to be able to understand. And really, this should be the foundation of all of our learning, because everything is held within. All science, language, religion, all of that it comes from this. It is all together, right? If we are all one, everything is one. We must look at it in a holistic perspective, not just in terms of health, but mentally, spiritually, and physically. This is science. It's science. So I'm going to read perspective, and this is going to come from my thick dictionary here. I've already written out everything. Already taken the time to write out all the definitions that I want to go over, because this is part of foundational knowledge and part of how we're able to use our own intuition and internal eye. And that the best way is through knowledge, because experience just can kick your ass and teach you a lesson, but knowledge helps you from getting your ass kicked. Okay. So perspective, we're going to look into it as the perspective of an adjective. So that's us describing what something is. So us describing what our perspective is we can see that this will be our own intuition, our own internal eye, if we are referencing this to ourselves in that perspective. So anyways, so adjective. So the root of the word, we need to always go to the root of the word. You don't just do the superficial. You can't just take care of the software, not the hardware. You have to have an understanding in your hardware to be able to see what's going on outside of you, the inside and the outside. Okay. So in the perspective of an adjective, it is to look through. So we can see how, if this is our internal eye, we are looking through to see what's happening outside of us. So our spirit is using our physical being, our physical body, to be able to interpret and identify what's happening outside of us. So to look through, from, per, through, and to look. So it's the ability to be able to look out, and looking has to do with light, because you can't see if you're all in darkness. So that gives you the ability to look light. Okay. And then if we change the perspective of the word perspective into a noun, because that has to do with a state of being. Person, place, or thing is a state of being. It's a state of just existence. It's something that is existing all the time, and it's not until we become aware of its existence that we're able to relate and be conscious of things. And therefore we examine as spirits. We like to see what's going on. We're nosy as hell, and we examine and pay attention. It just depends on what we're paying attention to. So in the form of a noun, perspective, it is the appearance of objects. The appearance of objects. We can see how that appears, that state of being, that light appears. Or scenes. So this can also be looked at spiritually as a scene, determined by their relative distance. Okay, we can see relativity between the white and the black, the shape on the inside. Okay, that's relativity, and there's distance. Okay, because distance has to do with separation as well, and position. So we can look at this as being our own position, being able to relate to what's going on outside of us. And we have to be aware of everything that we are also taking in, because part of perceiving what's outside of us is also the ability to be able to perceive what's going on inside of us. And that has to do with self-responsibility. Okay? It goes deep. But we're going to use knowledge and spirit, the integration of both, to be able to see, to identify what's happening with the spirit by using words and symbols and things we do every day and experiences, so we can get a better understanding of ourselves and really what's happening around us. Because if you don't know yourself, then you're not going to be able to really perceive what's happening around you. That's why knowledge of self is very important. Okay, so that's perspective. And I also want to talk about white and black, because that's also very important as well, especially when it comes to status.